WCBI News at 10 starts now.
The coronavirus has officially come to Mississippi. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Mississippi State Department of Health this evening reporting the state's first positive case of coronavirus or COVID-19. The health department does not report names, but does say the patient is a man from Forest County who recently traveled to Florida. He has voluntarily isolated himself at home to prevent further spread of the virus. Final verification will have to come from the Centers for Disease Control. Dr. Thomas Dobbs, the state's health officer, is expected to announce updated guidelines and more information tomorrow morning. President Trump called for unity while addressing the nation from the Oval Office on his administration's new steps to control coronavirus in the United States. The death toll now in the U.S. climbed to at least 38 people, with more than 1,000 cases across about 40 states and the District of Columbia. Deborah Alfarone now is at the White House with the very latest.
President Donald Trump announced a 30-day suspension of travel from Europe to begin Friday at midnight, with an exception for the United Kingdom.
And taking early, intense action, we have seen dramatically fewer cases of the virus in the United States than are now present in Europe.
The president also asked Congress for an additional $50 billion in funding for small business loans and says he will call on the IRS to delay the April 15th tax deadline for certain businesses and individuals.
I will always put the well-being of America first.
Stocks plummeted after the World Health Organization changed its assessment of the outbreak.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
At a hearing on Capitol Hill, the nation's top expert on infectious diseases issued a dire warning to lawmakers.
We will see more cases, and things will get worse than they are right now.
Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have been meeting in person and over the phone to try and find some common ground over a coronavirus stimulus package. House Democrats say they have legislation that will call for free testing, paid sick leave, expanded unemployment insurance, and SNAP increases. They plan to bring it to a vote Thursday.
This is fundamentally what the American people need, and it's fundamentally what the American economy needs.
The Capitol is expected to cancel public tours as entities around the U.S. take steps to mitigate the spread of coronavirus. Late Wednesday, the NCAA announced that only essential staff and limited family members will be allowed to attend March Madness tournament games. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
Now, during that speech tonight, the president also addressed how the coronavirus pandemic will be handled from a treatment standpoint. Take a listen.
Earlier this week, I met with the leaders of health insurance industry who have agreed to waive all co-payments for coronavirus treatments, extend insurance coverage to these treatments, and to prevent surprise medical billing. We are cutting massive amounts of red tape to make antiviral therapies available in record time. These treatments will significantly reduce the impact and reach of the virus.
In other news tonight, Mississippi currently does not have any policies related to transgender student athletes, but some lawmakers are trying to change that. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
No boys allowed. One state lawmaker is taking a controversial take on the phrase.
We want to make sure that we don't, for political correctness, allow biological males who have a distinct advantage to come in and take scholarships and medals from females in female-only sports.
Senator Angela Hill is referring to transgender females. Other states have faced the question of whether it's fair to allow transgender female athletes to compete alongside biological females.
There's litigation going on in Connecticut right now. There's a couple of high school girls who are track stars that have had a biological male come in and compete against them and start, just cleaning up. And they have a lawsuit in federal court right now, and we want a policy in place in Mississippi before this happens. It's not if, it's when.
Hill says the goal is to maintain a level playing field. Her amendment says no school district could be a part of the State Activities Association if they, quote, allow biological males to compete against biological females in sports. But the Human Rights Campaign says
it's a solution looking for a problem.
It also comes as the group advocates for protecting the very people this bill targets. States.
We're basically just trying to pass fair legislation that says that everybody should be treated the same and that nobody should be targeted because of who they are, whether it be their disability or because they're a member of the LGBTQ community.
Both bills have a Thursday deadline to be passed by the full Senate.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
A Winston County native will now lead East Central Community College in Decatur. Dr. Brent Gregory was recently selected by the Board of Trustees. He's a native of Nanawaya and graduated from the community college in 1996. Gregory right now is the Vice President for Student Affairs at Southwest Mississippi Community College. He will begin his new role on July 1st after the retirement of Dr. Billy Stewart.
It's a pretty quiet Wednesday evening around here. We've got temperatures in the lower 60s, some rain and storms earlier today, but right now things fairly tame. There have been a few isolated showers across the region. One blew up there east of New Albany, one there northeast of Guntown in the northern reach of the area, and you can see some additional showers trying to pop. We still can't rule out a few isolated showers and thunder showers as we go throughout the course of the evening and overnight hours, especially across the northern half of our area with a little disturbance moving on through. Overnight lows will be down to around 60, so maybe a few more degrees, if not the upper 50s. Tomorrow, a pretty quiet day overall, maybe an early shower, but look at that high, upper 70s to around 80. Another chance for some showers and storms tomorrow night. Some of those could be on the hefty side. We'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
In 2006, Felix Wynn was sentenced to 120 years in prison for selling cocaine. After serving nearly 14 years, Wynn caught a glimmer of hope. The state Supreme Court heard his appeal, ruled in his favor, and sent the case back to circuit court for resentencing. Well, last week, Judge Lee Howard sentenced Wynn again. This time it was to time served, making him a free man once again. Our Bobby Martinez caught up with Wynn today to find out what's next for him.
I'm just glad I'm here now.
After spending close to 14 years in prison, Felix Wynn is happy to be free again. In 2006, he was sent to prison for selling drugs. He was sentenced as a repeat offender and got 120 years. His reaction after receiving the sentence?
I smiled at him.
Yeah.
I smiled at him.
Why was that?
Yeah, I don't know, because it didn't seem real. What you doing this to me for?
Wynn says the transition to his new life in prison didn't feel real either. During his time away, he lost many people who were dear to his heart.
It was tough because I lost my mama, my sister, aunt, another first cousin, but my fiance was right there with me, and some more of my family, you know what I'm saying? They didn't throw me away, you know what I'm saying? My family's right there with me.
Wynn says he's made sure to always keep busy while in prison.
I participated in everything with a bunch of classes, Bible study, Votech, you know, coordinated art, I went to everything, drug and alcohol, computer. I had about 9 certificates. Then I worked in maintenance, electrician, plumbing.
Wynn says about 6 months ago, he found out there was a chance he soon could be free. After filing for an appeal numerous times, he was given a court date, a chance at resentencing, and a chance to go home. Looking back at the whole experience, Wynn says,
Man, look, it's hard to explain. It's over with. It's hard to explain. Like, time went so fast. You know what I'm saying? I did what I was going to do. I tried to stay busy.
Now, Wynn is set on making the most of his second chance, and he's focused on the future.
I just got to go on with my life. I'm not even going to think about that. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to look forward. I ain't looking back. I'm looking forward. Well, I got to catch up around here because this is where I make my little money at. I want to turn it into a convenience store, but it's going to take a little money to do it. But I'm eventually going to do it because we don't have a store out here in this community.
Now, Wynn says that he plans on spending his free time talking to the youth on the importance of making good decisions. All right, Keith, more rain?
Of course. Why not? It's been the story of 2020 so far. We had some rain, some storms around here earlier today. Our Louisville, Mississippi sky cam shows some of those clouds passing on through and a little bit of an outflow boundary right there. More bark and bite today and more showers and storms in the forecast. We'll talk about it next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Good to see you on this Wednesday evening. We have some fairly tame conditions across our region right now. Let's take a peek outside with our Alpha Insurance Camera Network here in Columbus and Tupelo, Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy, of course, Louisville, Mississippi. Notice the temperatures here. Wow, we've got 463 showing on up. So That's where we're at right now. We have some overcast conditions and even some showers out there on an isolated basis. A few showers out and about here tonight. Temperatures in the 60s, as we just mentioned, so fairly stable at this point. A chance for a few more showers or thunder showers later tonight. Lows down to around 60. Not too many changes during the overnight hours. And here's our outlook for tomorrow, our first alert forecast. And look at this. We have Charlie, and Charlie apparently loves chemistry. If you look closely, I think that's some sort of organic chemistry or some sort of schoolwork right there. Loves to do science. 61 when we start out, 72 at noon tomorrow. And look at that, very mild, upper 70s to around 80 in many spots here. And for a good chunk of the day, we will be dry. Can't rule out an early day shower. And these thunderstorms that you see plotting here, those would be after sunset, it would appear. So we will stay very warm for tomorrow and overall spring-like for the next couple of days. Warm, wet, and stormy with daily rain and storm chances. Speaking of that next storm chance, tomorrow evening after sunset, tomorrow night, there is a low-end chance for some gusty storms that could come on into North Mississippi. There is just a low-end threat with that, but we'll continue to watch it. Right now we have a fairly quiet regime across most of the region, more clouds coming on in, and we still may spark a few more showers or storms later tonight. You can see that with our hour-by-hour forecast. Tomorrow morning we would expect to see a lot of those go away or shift to the north, and we'll have a lot of cloud cover when we wake up, I think. Temperatures around 60 degrees. By midway, late afternoon, upper 70s, low 80s. It will be likely the warmest day of the year, even warm into the early evening tomorrow. Notice the showers and storms lined up back to the northwest. That would be that chance for some gusty storms to fall back into North Mississippi, but we think those will tend to weaken as they do so. So the odds of severe weather this far south tomorrow night, fairly iffy at this point, but we'll keep watching here. You can see the better odds of that likely just to our north and parts of Arkansas, Missouri, West Tennessee. So that's something we'll keep watching. Here's your AccuWeather 70 forecast. 79 tomorrow. We are looking at some 60s, a little bit cooler on Friday. A few more storms possible this weekend, Andrea. We stay in the 70s here. And then next week, guess what? More chances for showers and storms.
More of the same. Well, and then spring pops in officially.
It's coming in, but it's already unofficially spring.
Right. All right.
Feels like it.
All right, well, fans will get what may be one last chance to watch live basketball this season. We have the very latest from the SEC tournament later in sports. Welcome back. Do you want more control over your health care? Well, there's an app for that. We'll find out more in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Nicole Pounders, a registered nurse and part of the nursing informatics team here at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight, I want to talk to you about some of the other benefits of Baptist OneCare and MyChart. Wouldn't it be great if you truly had quick and free access to your own medical records from your laptop, smartphone, or other electronic device? Baptist OneCare, the electronic health record that hospitals, clinics, and physician offices in our Baptist system use, includes a free app called MyChart that puts you in control of your health information. When you are a patient in our hospital, you may see your doctors or nurses typing information on computers or tablets. They are capturing all of your health information to put into your electronic health record, which provides a one-touch point of care for patients and caregivers. If you've been admitted to our hospital on or after December 1st, 2014, you probably noticed that at several points during your hospital stay, we have offered to help you activate your MyChart account. MyChart allows you to see your plan of care while you are a patient, including a detailed schedule of your entire day, when you are scheduled for lab tests or therapy, a list of medications and when you are to take them, and a summary of treatment from the previous day. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist when we will discuss other benefits of MyChart and how to sign up.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle.
One of the final SEC games with a live viewing audience, Ole Miss and Georgia in the SEC tournament. We'll have more on all of this coming up next.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
The SEC tournament for Ole Miss men's basketball is the Rebels postseason. After finishing the regular season 15-16, the Rebels with an opportunity to survive and see another day. Facing one of 6 SEC teams the Rebs had beat this season, Georgia. You know what they say, it's hard to beat the same team twice. The Rebels and Georgia squaring off in the first round. Early in the first, forward Tumani Kamara in the paint with the sick reverse lay-in. Georgia commanding 12-4. Next possession, Ole Miss. Guard Brian Tyree driving the lane, gets it to go, grabs the foul. Rebs cut it 12-6. And midway through the first half, guard Devontae Schuler driving right to the cup with authority. Rebels back in at Georgia in the lead 14-10. 7.5 to go. Nothing going inside for the Bulldogs. The kick out to guard Jordan Harris. Bottoms. Dogs up 23-10. 5.5 remaining. Schuler again taking it himself right to the rim. Rebels trailing 25-14. And under 5 remaining, Tyree pulling up from downtown. Splash. Just couldn't hit enough of those to bring the Rebels back. Ole Miss falls to Georgia in the first round of the SEC tournament, 81-63. WCBI Sports' Tom Ebel joins us live from Nashville with more. Hey, Tom.
Courtney, for an Ole Miss team that finished 1-10 in the regular season on the road, the same problems that the Rebels faced all season long on the road reared their ugly heads yet again against Georgia. In the first half, the Rebels getting off to a really slow start offensively. Georgia jumping out to an early lead, but then the Rebels were able to claw their way back, making it a single-digit game. Rebels able to get it down to 5 before Georgia hitting a half-court shot and stretching it to 11 at halftime. Kermit Davis saying that the Rebels were able to make yet another run in the second half, but again, just did not have the energy to overcome a deficit. Davis saying after the game that there was one key part of the game that changed it for the Rebels.
The critical time was when we got it to 9, and we got to stop, and all we talked about was driving the ball. And Brian pulled up and shot one from about 28, and the next trip down, Blake shot one. We could have had maybe to 5 and really kind of made it a game. And then from there, they just kind of took it out. It was 13 or 14 again.
You know, it's sad that it kind of ended this way, but I met a lot of great people at the university. I learned a lot about myself, grew as a man and as a student athlete, and you know, I'm thankful for every opportunity I've gotten there. So, you know, sad that my career is over, man. It kind of feels weird, but you know, I feel like I did leave a mark on the university.
So a storied career for Brian Tyree at Ole Miss comes to an end. Tyree saying after the game, it's the same thing as what the Rebels have been dealing with all year. They just couldn't close a ball game on the road. So for those of you with rooting interest, Florida taking on Georgia tomorrow. That'll be the game that will eventually lead to who will face Mississippi State. But the new era of March beginning tomorrow, the SEC officially announcing today, joining much of the country, that they will be banning fans from attending the game for the rest of the SEC tournament. Greg Sankey saying today that it was a fluid situation. Everything came one moment after the next, even though they made a decision earlier in the week to continue with the tournament as normal. So for Mississippi State on Friday for their game at 2 o'clock, there won't be any fans in attendance. Reporting here outside of Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tom Ebel for WCBI Sports. Courtney, back to you.
Thanks, Tom. Following the NCAA announcement of a ban on fan attendance at events, including the NCAA tournament, the Southeastern Conference following suit, the SEC releasing a statement saying starting March 12th through March 30th, no fans will be authorized at any athletic events. The attendance ban will be reevaluated at the end of the month. Anyone that purchased tickets will be refunded. For more information, you can visit our website at WCBI.com. Mississippi State closing out a midweeker down in Biloxi against Texas Tech. The Bulldogs getting the 2-game sweep over the ranked Red Raiders with the game 2 final. That will be 3-2. Mississippi State covering up that final. Don't do that to yourself. You got the win. Ole Miss finishing its midweek matchup with an 18-7 win against ULM. No, that did not deceive you. That is in fact a real score. Ole Miss will host 19th ranked LSU coming up on Friday for the SEC conference opener, as well as Mississippi State will be hosting Arkansas, and like I kind of just mentioned, unfortunately, everybody will have to watch those games on a broadcast or watch the highlights with us because no fans will be permitted to attend any of those games.
And Tom mentioned it's been sort of a fluid situation literally since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. We have been getting update after update after update across all sorts of platforms, including
sports. Never know when anything could change potentially at any minute, and we'll continue bringing these updates as they become available.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be right back with a last look at the forecast.
WCBI sports coverage of the 2020 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament in Nashville is brought to you by Columbus Orthopedic. Trust one place. Cannon Ford of Starkville. Nobody beats a Cannon deal. Nobody. And visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
Well, don't be surprised if you hear some raindrops tonight. You can even see a flash of lightning later on tonight. There's a chance for a little bit of rain, but, well, I think I grabbed the wrong clicker. Oh, there you go. Suffice to say, warm tomorrow, more storm chances.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you. That is the news for your Wednesday evening. Have a good night, everyone.